So the main goal of using assistive technology is to help students learn. And I also really like the idea that it boosts our self-esteem because when a student with a disability is in a class, they probably already feel like left out and like they're different from everyone else. So just the fact that they can learn the same information as everyone else, but they're just learning in a different way is really nice too. And so I really like the idea that it will boost their self-esteem. I honestly don't know much about assistive technology. That's the one thing that I feel like I'm kind of clueless on, I guess. So I'm really glad that we did touch this in this class, and then also educating exceptional students. So the one that I found most interesting was the IntelliKeys USB by AbleNet. There's just so many different settings that you can change really easily too, to where the student can use the keyboard, and instead of like dragging their hand across the screen and hitting every single letter, it would only type the letter if they like rested their hand on there. And just like there's so many different settings. Obviously, the person who created it was so thoughtful and like they really thought of every possible thing that could happen while a student with a disability is using that keyboard. So that was really interesting just to watch the guy in the video like explain everything about that. And the second question is about the applications. So the first application mentioned in the article is existence. So this just means that you have to have it to live. So the example that I came up with would be like a hairbrush with longer handles and like a grip. So maybe someone who can't reach like all the way back, like a longer handle might help them, and then the grip so it's easier to hold. And then communication just means, well, communication covers both oral and written language. And so speech generating devices, so the student can just click on a picture and the device will like transform it into like a sentence and like words. So like that's how they will communicate with someone when they can't talk. And the third one was environmental. So this is like your daily living, and it's really like based off of what happens in the classroom too. So my example would be like pencil grips because that's something that a student will use pretty much the entire day. And also maybe if they have a visual impairment, maybe just setting them closer to the board to where they can see, like maybe they aren't blind, but maybe they do have a little bit of blindness, then just having them sit closer to the front of the classroom so that they can see the board and understand the lecture better. And the third question is one additional assistive technology. The one that I found was really interesting was a refreshable braille display. When I found this, the first place I saw that it was mentioned was assistive technology for education.com. Basically, it's a screen, I guess is how you would explain it. And on the screen is like a bunch of braille dots. And depending upon the content of like the textbook or something, the dots would raise and lower as the person moved the cursor along so that they could also, I guess, read the braille dots. So like that was just so interesting to me. These range from about $3,500 to $15,000. Depending upon the number of characters displayed on the screen. And so like as a person reads, the dots will like raise and lower depending upon where the person is at with the cursor. And so that's what they're talking about, like the number of characters that are displayed at one time. So as they read the article or read the textbook, the dots will be raising and lowering, which is so cool to me. So and then like I found all of the other information after first seeing it on the assistive technology for education.com. I found the other information on the American Foundation for the Blind website. So that was just really interesting because I feel like when people mention assistive technologies, everyone's minds go to like communication devices for students with autism or other like learning disabilities. But I feel like blindness and deafness is one that often gets overlooked. So I was glad to find that example. So thank you.